You wake up, drive through traffic, get to work. Your boss fills you with orders and you go home exhausted without giving time to your wife and to your kids. And you have to repeat all this for 40 years. And after all this, you still end up broke at retirement. That's not a guess. That's a fact, backed by data. According to a 2023 Federal Reserve report, nearly 37% of American adults wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing money or selling something. And a 2022 survey by Go Banking Rates found that 55% of Americans have less than $5,000 in savings. So here's the real question. Why do some people manage to flip their financial situation completely in just 2 years, while others keep spinning their wheels for decades? The answer isn't luck. It's not a high salary. And it's definitely not being born into the right family. It's a specific set of decisions, habits, and systems that the average person is never taught. And I'm going to walk you through every single one of them right now, step by step. I want to be clear about something before we get into this. This isn't a video about get-rich-quick schemes or some magic formula that will make you a millionaire overnight. What I'm about to share with you is built on real financial research, behavioral economics, and the actual patterns that separate people who break out of financial struggle from those who stay stuck. 2 years is enough time to completely transform your financial life if you follow the right sequence. Not every year, not every decade. 2 years, but only if you stop doing the things that are silently keeping you broke and start doing the things that actually build wealth. So, leave a like and let's start. Part 1. The real reason you're not getting ahead. Let's start with something most people don't want to hear. The reason most people stay poor has nothing to do with how hard they work. According to data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American works about 1,800 hours a year. That's not a lazy country. People are working hard. The problem is the direction of that effort. Here's a concept that completely changed how I think about money. There's a difference between working for income and building wealth. Income is the money that flows into your account from a job or service. Wealth is what stays and grows after that money arrives. Most people are focused entirely on income, and they're leaving wealth completely out of the equation. Think about it this way. You can earn $80,000 a year and have zero wealth if you spend $80,000 a year. And someone else can earn $45,000 a year and become financially independent if they're intentional about where that money goes. The number on your paycheck isn't the deciding factor. The gap between what you earn and what you keep is where wealth actually lives. A 2020 study published in the Journal of Financial Planning found that the single strongest predictor of long-term financial success wasn't income, level, education, or even investment returns. It was the savings rate, which is the percentage of income that a person consistently sets aside and invests. People who maintained a savings rate of even 15 to 20% consistently outperformed higher earners who saved little or nothing. So step 1 in this process is accepting that your income is just the starting point. What you do with it is everything, like opening your YouTube channel, since YouTube is the golden opportunity of this decade, and I can help you in my free community in the link below. Part 2, the 90-day reset and how to actually see your progress. One of the biggest traps people fall into is vague goal setting. I want to save more money. I want to be financially free someday. These statements feel good to say, but they produce nothing because there's no system attached to them. Here's a method that works, and it's backed by research. A study from the Dominican University of California found that people who wrote down specific goals and tracked their progress weekly were 42% more likely to achieve them, compared to people who just thought about their goals without writing anything down. The system I recommend is breaking your financial goals into 90-day windows. 3 months is long enough to see real results, but short enough to stay focused and make adjustments if something isn't working. Here's how you apply it. At the start of every 90 days, you sit down and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what is one specific financial goal I want to hit in the next 90 days? Make it a number. Not save money, but save $900 in 90 days, which is $300 per month. Second, what is one spending habit I'm going to cut or reduce to make space for that goal? Third, what is one new income-generating action I'm going to take this quarter? At the end of 90 days, you review. Did you hit your number? If yes, you level up the goal. If no, you look at where the gap was and adjust. This process rewires how you think about money over time. Instead of drifting through financial decisions on autopilot, You're making intentional choices in a cycle that compounds. Don't underestimate this. Over 2 years, you'll complete 8 of these 90-day cycles. That's 8 opportunities to course correct, improve, and stack progress. The numbers add up faster than you think. Part 3, the spending audit that changes everything. Before you can build wealth, you need to know exactly where your money is currently going. This sounds obvious, but most people genuinely don't know. A survey by Mint found that 65% of Americans had no idea how much they spent last month. That's like trying to lose weight without ever stepping on a scale. Here's what I want you to do. For the next 30 days, track every single dollar that leaves your account. Every coffee, every subscription, every Amazon purchase, every dinner out. Don't try to change anything yet, just observe. What you're going to find will probably surprise you. Research from the National Bureau of Economic Research shows that the average American household wastes about $18,000 per year on what economists call low utility spending, which is money spent on things that don't actually increase happiness or life satisfaction. That's $1,500 a month that most people are leaking out of their finances on things they barely notice or care about. After your 30-day audit, categorize your spending into 3 buckets. The first bucket is essential spending: rent, utilities, food, transportation. The second bucket is intentional spending, things you genuinely enjoy and choose to prioritize. The third bucket is unconscious spending, recurring costs, impulse purchases, and convenience fees you're paying without really thinking about them. Your job is to shrink bucket 3 as aggressively as you can without making yourself miserable. That freed up money becomes the raw material for everything that comes next. Part 4, the investment mindset shift, and why most people never make it. Here's something that the wealthy understand that most people don't. Money sitting in a savings account isn't safe. It's actually losing value every year because of inflation. According to data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual inflation rate in the US over the past 30 years has been approximately 2.5 to 3%. That means if you have $10,000 sitting in a savings account, earning 0.5% interest, you're effectively losing around 2% of its purchasing power every year. This is why wealthy people don't just save money, they put their money to work. And the earlier you start, the more dramatic the results because of something called compound interest, which Albert Einstein reportedly called the 8th wonder of the world. Here's a real number to make that clear. If you invest just $200 a month starting at age 25, and that money grows at an average of 8% per year, which is actually a conservative estimate for a diversified index fund, over a long period you'll have roughly $702,000 by age 65. If you wait until age 35 to start doing the exact same thing, you end up with only around $298,000, same $200 a month. But waiting just 10 years cost you over $400,000. Time in the market is more powerful than almost any other financial decision you can make. Now, you don't need to be a finance expert to start investing. You don't need to pick individual stocks or understand complex trading strategies. For most people, the most effective starting point is a low-cost index fund. Index funds track the overall performance of the stock market and have historically returned an average of around 7 to 10% annually over long periods. According to data from S&P Dow Jones indices, over a 15-year period, about 92% of actively managed funds underperform simple index funds. Translation: the boring, simple approach usually beats the fancy one. If your employer offers a 401k with a company match, that is your first investment move. Contribute at least enough to get the full match, because that's essentially free money. After that, consider a Roth IRA, which allows your money to grow completely tax-free. The key principle is this: start before you feel ready, because waiting for the perfect moment is how people end up at 50 with nothing invested. Part 5, building a second income stream in your first 90 days. Here's a reality check. If your only income is from one source, your financial security is fragile. According to a 2021 report from Bankrate, about 45% of Americans have a side hustle. But more importantly, those who do earn an average of $810 per month in additional income from it. That's nearly $10,000 a year on top of a regular salary. You don't need to start a business or become an entrepreneur to benefit from a second income stream. What you need is to identify one skill or resource you already have and find a way to monetize it. Here are a few real examples grounded in data. Freelance writing, graphic design, and web development are among the highest growth categories on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, where skilled freelancers earn anywhere from $25 to $100 per hour. If you have a car, delivery services like DoorDash or Uber Eats allow flexible income on your own schedule. If you have a spare room, short-term rental platforms generate significant supplemental income in most US cities. If you have knowledge in a specific area, tutoring or online course creation are both low-cost ways to generate income from what you already know. The goal in the first 90 days isn't to replace your primary income. It's to generate an additional $300 to $1,000 per month. That extra money goes directly into investments, not into lifestyle spending. That discipline is what separates people who build wealth from people who earn more but stay broke. Here's a practical framework. Spend 5 hours per week on your side income in the first month, just exploring and testing. Increase to 8 hours in the second month as you identify what's working. By month 3, you should have a clear picture of what generates the most return for your time and double down on that. Part 6. The financial education loop. There's a pattern that shows up consistently among people who achieve lasting financial success. They never stop learning about money, not because they love finance, but because they understand that the rules of money change, and staying informed gives you an advantage. A 2022 study from the TIAA Institute and the Global Financial Literacy Excellence Center found that people with high financial literacy were significantly more likely to plan for retirement, manage debt effectively, and avoid high-cost financial products like payday loans. They also accumulated substantially more wealth over time compared to people with low financial literacy, even when income levels were similar. Financial education doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Here's a simple loop that works. Once per week, spend 20 to 30 minutes reading or watching one piece of financial content. It could be a chapter of a book, a YouTube video on tax strategy, an article on real estate investing basics, or a deep dive into how index funds work. The goal isn't to become an expert overnight, it's to gradually expand what you understand so you can make better decisions with your money. Some of the most useful topics to start with are how taxes work and how to legally reduce your tax liability, the difference between good debt and bad debt, how credit scores work and how to improve yours, the basics of investing including index funds, ETFs, and compound interest, and how to read a basic financial statement. Each thing you learn becomes a tool. The more tools you have, the more opportunities you can spot and act on. Part 7. Who you spend time with is a financial decision. This is one of the most underrated factors in personal finance, and most people never connect the dots. A 2022 study published in the Journal of Consumer Research found that people's spending habits are heavily influenced by their social circle. Specifically, people tend to mirror the financial behaviours of those closest to them, including their spending levels, their attitudes towards saving, and even their willingness to invest. Think about this in practical terms. If everyone in your immediate social circle spends heavily on dining out, new clothes and vacations, the social pressure to keep up with that lifestyle is enormous, even if your income doesn't support it. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who talk openly about investing, building businesses, and building long-term financial security, those conversations shift your thinking and your behaviour over time. This doesn't mean you need to cut off your friends. What it means is that you should be intentional about adding people to your life who are ahead of where you want to go financially. Attend local business networking events. Join online communities focused on personal finance and investing. Find a mentor, even a virtual one through books, podcasts, or YouTube channels, who demonstrates the financial mindset and results you're working toward. The research on this is clear. Your environment shapes your habits, and your habits determine your financial outcome. Part 8, the 2-year roadmap. Alright, let's zoom out and look at exactly how all of these pieces come together over 2 years. In months 1 through 3, which is your first 90-day cycle, your job is to build awareness and infrastructure. You complete your spending audit. You set up your budget and identify how much you can save each month. You open an investment account if you don't already have one. You start working on one small side income source, and you commit to your 20 to 30 minute weekly financial education habit. In months 4 through 6, you start to see the momentum building. You're now consistently saving and investing. Your side income is starting to produce real money. You've identified your biggest spending leaks and cut them. You review your 90-day progress and set new targets. In months 7 through 12, you're no longer just managing your money. You're growing it. Your investments are compounding. Your second income stream is more established. Your financial knowledge is stronger, and you're making smarter decisions because of it. In year 2, months 13 through 24, the difference becomes visible. According to data from Vanguard, a consistent investor who contributes even modestly to a diversified portfolio over 2 years has dramatically better financial health than someone who makes no changes. By this point, you're not just surviving paycheck to paycheck. You have an emergency fund, you have growing investments, you have more than one income source, and you have a system that runs without you having to stress about money every week. The gap between where you started and where you are now isn't because anything magical happened. It's because you made a series of small, consistent, deliberate decisions compounded over 730 days. That's the whole thing. There's no secret. There's no shortcut. The people who change their financial lives in 2 years are the ones who take these steps seriously and don't stop when it gets inconvenient. Oh, and don't forget also to open your YouTube channel, since YouTube is the golden opportunity of this decade, and I can help you in my free community in the link below. Let's bring this back to the beginning. Most people are stuck not because they're lazy, not because they're unlucky, and not because they don't earn enough. They're stuck because nobody ever gave them a clear system to follow. The school system doesn't teach this. Most parents don't teach it either, and the financial industry has a financial incentive to keep things confusing. But the information is out there, and you now have a roadmap. You know that the savings rate matters more than the income level. You know how to use 90-day cycles to create momentum and track real progress. You know how to do a spending audit and identify where money is silently leaking out. You know the basics of investing and why starting before you feel ready is critical. You know how to build a second income stream without burning out. You know how to use financial education as a long-term competitive advantage. And you know that your environment and the people around you have a measurable impact on your financial trajectory. 2 years from now, you can either be in the exact same financial situation you're in today, or you can be somewhere completely different. The deciding factor is what you do with this information starting today. Don't wait for a better time. There isn't one. Start with one step. Track your spending for 30 days. Open that investment account. Earn your first $100 from a side source. Each small action you take builds the foundation for everything that comes after. You have the information now? The only question is whether you're going to use it. Subscribe and watch this video on screen to know which compounding strategy you should use in a crash. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depend on your own decisions and actions.